Hi, welcome back to another video, or welcome if you're new to my channel. My name is Jordan and this is Books with Brew Shoe. I like to drink coffee and read books. I hope y'all are having a fabulous new year and are ready to talk about some book series. I am sure if you are an avid reader like I am, book series are a never-ending, daunting task, if you will, that they never go away. It seems like I am always in the middle of a lot of series. And that has become even more apparent or even more common since I have started a YouTube channel. It has always been a goal of mine to catch up in all of the series that I'm reading. And today we're gonna do a little check-in to see how I'm doing. I did this type of video in the summer, and I believe I posted it in July because it was all of this series that I started, continued, and finished in the first half of the year. So if you missed that video, I will link it below, because today I will only be talking about all of the series that I have read from July through December 2025. So only talking about the second half of the year since I've already done the first half. End of the year series check-in, if you will. So let's go ahead and start off by talking about all of the series that I started in the second half of the year. So July through December. We're gonna start off with a book that I didn't love. It was just okay. And that is Beartown by Fredrik Backman. Now, this book is very popular. A lot of people love it. I, however, did not. I thought it was just fine. The story is heart-wrenching, and you know, some terrible things do actually happen in that book. But I just didn't love it. It was just fine. I'm not gonna go too in-depth with all these series because there's a lot for us to talk about today. First series that I started was Beartown. I also started the Flesh and Fire series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So this series is about vampires and primal gods and mortals and creatures, drakens, all sorts of fantastical creatures. Jennifer L. Armentrout has created this amazing world. She has two different series. She's got the Blood and Ash series and also the Flesh and Fire series. Now, I started the Blood and Ash series years ago and absolutely loved it. But if you read them in conjunction with each other, they make so much more sense. I would highly suggest to read both series at the same time. You get so much more context and so much more knowledge of the world and what's going on. A Shadow in the Ember is the first book in the Flesh and Fire series, and I absolutely love these books. I love them so much. So I started this series as well. I did start the Fixer duology series by Lucy Score. Now, this is the second book that I just read in December. They're okay. I DNF'd both books in the series, actually. So I guess they're not okay, but I DNF'd both books. I just didn't love some of the main characters. They were annoying, unbelievable, not nice, rude. So I decided these books weren't for me. The first book is The Fixer and the second book is The Christmas Fix. Then I also started the Dream Harbor series by Lori Gilmore. The first book in that series is Pumpkin Spice Cafe. And these are cute, cozy romances set in the small town of Dream Harbor, which I think it's in Massachusetts. I know it's not very far from Boston. Just a cute, cozy time. A lot of them are holiday themed. So Pumpkin Spice Cafe is kind of a fall themed read. And you've got Cinnamon Bun Bookstore and then Christmas Tree Farm. Those are the three that I have read so far, and I have enjoyed all of them a lot. I love the author's writing. I like the characters. I like the storyline. So highly recommend that series. Then we've got the Dearly Beloved series by Brigitte Knightley, and the first book in this series is The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. Now, this is a retelling of a Dramione fanfic that the author wrote, and it has now been traditionally published, obviously without any of the Harry Potter references. Y'all, I really enjoyed this book. This book was so good. I really loved it. I believe it's a duology, and the second book comes out later on this year, and I can't wait to read it. I'm so excited about it. And this is the Fairy Loot edition, and I really hope that Fairy Loot puts out an edition for the second book as well, because I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the characters. The world building was cool, and the magic system was really interesting and different. So definitely recommend the Dearly Beloved series. This is one of my favorite books of the year. So spoiler for my favorite books of 2025 video. But this, y'all, this is Warrior Princess Assassin by Brigid Kemmerer. And this is the first book in the Braided Fate series. The second book comes out, I believe, in October or November of this year. And I cannot wait for it, y'all. This book is so good. You're introduced to the warrior, the princess, and the assassin. Warrior is the king of a different nation, a different country. And the princess, she is supposed to marry him for some political alliances. And then her best friend is Asher, who is an assassin. Some things happen. Jory and Asher do some things to Kai. They shouldn't have done those things. There's just twists and turns, and I really enjoyed this book. I was giggling and laughing and thoroughly enjoyed it. I did not want to put it down ever. I really love this book, and I cannot wait to continue this series. Okay, what's next? Y'all, I need to talk faster because I've got so many books on this list. Then I started the Rewitched series, and the first book in that series is Rewitched, and this is a cute, cozy, Halloween witchy book. I read so many witchy books, it's hard for me to keep them all straight. This one was about a witch who she had powers, and then she was at 30 years old, you're tested to see how you've done with those powers and if you were gonna keep them or not. And so this was a story about her trying to keep her powers, and I really enjoyed it. I wish there was a little bit more romance in the book because it was kind of hinted at but wasn't fully developed. But overall, I did enjoy the book, and I will continue the series. I think the third book in the series is coming out this year. So then I've got Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. I also enjoyed this book. This was a second chance romance witchy book. So this couple, they got together like in high school, like young adult age, and he actually was from Wales, so he had to move back to Wales through different circumstances, and they did not part on good terms. And so she was really upset about like how he left and the circumstances that he left. And you know, I think it was like 10 years later or something. They haven't forgotten about each other. They've been thinking about each other this whole time, and they had to, you know, solve some problems. I do have reading vlogs for a lot of these books that I've read. If you want to check out those videos on my channel, they're all seasonal reading vlogs. So I've got ones for fall, I've got ones for Halloween, I've got ones for Christmas, etc. So those are all on my channel. Speaking of, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more seasonal reading vlogs and more bookish content, because I love sitting here talking about books, obviously. Okay, so the next series that I started was the Spell Shop series by Sarah Beth Durst. This as well, cute, cozy. There was romance in here, but this is more like cozy fantasy. I really enjoyed this book. I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I didn't think that I would like it as much as I did, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the author's writing, I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the storyline. So the next two books in this series take place in the same world, but not with the same people. So excited to continue with that series. Then I've got the Language of Dragons series by S.F. Williamson. And y'all, I read this book in November. I read this book in November, I think, and I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. So I cannot wait to continue. This is a duology. The second book is out. However, I ordered the Fairy Loot edition, since this is also a Fairy Loot edition, and it won't be here for at least another month or two. So I am going to finish that duology this year, because why not? I'm already halfway there. So instead of waiting and putting it off and forgetting what happens in the first book, I may as well just continue and then be done with it, right? Then I've got the Last Mrs. Parrish series, which is a duology, and then it has some short novellas in there too, some short stories. I listened to the first book on audio. I enjoyed it. I liked the author's writing. I liked the twists. It was a little bit predictable, but I still really enjoyed it. And so I'm interested to see what the second book is about. I will also be continuing that series. We've got the Ghosted series by B.K. Borison, and y'all, I loved this book so much. I love this book so much. I cried. It was heart-wrenching, and it hurt, and you didn't know if they were going to end up together or not. It was so good. This was a book about the ghost of Christmas past, so definitely set around the holiday season. It was a good holiday read. Definitely better than a lot of the holiday romances that are, you know, kind of light and fluffy and, you know, whatever. So I really, really enjoyed this, and will definitely be reading the second book, which comes out in like October or November sometime. Then we have the Winter Street series by Ellen Hildebrand. So this is the first book in the Winter series. And I also read this during my Christmas reading vlog. And this book was fine. This was kind of a day in the life story of this family going through some turmoil and some normal everyday problems and family drama. So this book is pretty short. It takes place over, I think, 3 or 4 days right over Christmas. And this is just a family trying to get through their family drama and just survive and get through the holidays. So it was okay. The Road Trip Romance series, and the first book in this series was A Cross-Country Christmas. And this was a short holiday romance. I enjoyed the couple in this. The main female character was a little bit annoying at times, but I still enjoyed the story. It's not necessarily like super Christmassy. It just takes place over the holiday season. But basically it's about a girl and her brother's best friend taking a road trip from California to Indiana to get back home for Christmas, and their adventures along the way and them slowly falling in love, because she obviously, as brother's best friend, had a crush on him growing up. So, you know, there's a little bit of history there. Then I've got Kringletown Christmas. And the first book in the series I just finished, and it was How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. It's kind of a parody off of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And this book was funny. The banter between the two main characters was great. I was laughing out loud. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I think the third book for this series comes out at the end of the year, so I will definitely be continuing, but I did start that. I actually started a lot of new series during my Christmas reading vlog. And then the very last series that I started in 2025 was the Fun for the Holidays series by Jay Sterling. This is a series of seasonal / holiday novellas. There is one book for every month. The first book takes place over New Year's, and it's called Kissing My Coworker. I listened to the audiobook. It was less than 3 hours, so super fast listen and super fast read. I think it's like 130 or 150 pages, something like that. But this book, I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. I enjoyed the banter between the two main characters. There's just their, you know, developing story and them getting together, and so I really enjoyed it. I really liked the author's writing, and I thought she did a good job with such a short novella. So that is the last and final series that I started in 2025. So we've got a total of 16 series that I started in the latter half of the year. So that doesn't even count any of the series that I started from January through June last year. So 16. Water break. Now let's go on with the series that I continued the latter half of the year. So that would be series that I had already started, but they still have books that are currently out that I have not read. So I've only continued on in the series. I'm not caught up and I'm not finished with them. I just continued the series. Let's start off with the My Vampire series by Jenna Levine. These books are about vampires and humans. At least the first 2 books are about vampires and humans getting together and their romance, and they're trying to figure out, you know, the logistics. And they're also like a little bit of like solving a mystery, sort of, kind of. But I've enjoyed the first 2 books. The third book came out, I think, in September, and The Hold never came in from my library, and so I just haven't had a chance to read it. But I did read the second book in the latter half of the year. I think I read it in like July or August or something. So I did continue that series. Then I've got the Fallen Crest series by Tijan. I absolutely love this series by Tijan. It's a whole universe, so you don't necessarily have to read all of the books in the universe. However, I love to read books in order. I liked I like finding all the Easter eggs and all of the little connections that are in the world, so I don't like to miss out. I only have 2 books left in this series, and I'm really sad about it because I've been reading this series since like 2012 or 2013, and they're just so good. I love this author's writing. I have enjoyed every single one of her books that I've read. So if you find anything by Tijin, pick it up and read it. It's 100% worth it. So then the next series that I continued was obviously the Dream Harbor series by Laurie Gilmore. I read 3 of those books this year. So started and continued that series. Then we've got the Last Mrs. Parrish series again. I started this series and I also continued it with a novella in the series. So I only have the book number 2 left. So hopefully I can get that done this year because why not? It's the last one. Also continued Outlander. And I read book number 7. I literally just finished it at the end of December. Glad that I did. I enjoyed this author's writing. Is the story a little meandering at times? Yeah. Do I find that sometimes there's a little too much detail? Yeah. But I still love this story. I love Jamie Fraser. I love Claire. I really love Jamie Fraser. Like, I love the TV show. I absolutely love the TV show. I mean, Sam Heughan, please. Definitely worth it. It's definitely an investment because these books are super, super long. I read book 6 and book 7 in 2025, and each of them are over 1,500 pages. I did finish An Echo in the Bone though, which is book 7. And there are books 8 and 9 still out, and she's writing book 10. We don't have a release date on that yet. Then I also continued the London Prep series by Gillian Dodd. I finished The Country House, which is book 6 over winter break, like right after Christmas. I really enjoy that series. It's about a foreign exchange student from the United States going to London for 2 weeks, and the people that she meets there and the friends that she makes and all sorts of high school drama, and it's great. I love it. I love Gillian Dodd's writing. I have read so many of her books. Highly recommend her. If you like YA romances, lots of high school drama, stuff like that. And there are 9 books in that series, so I have 3 books left. And finally, last but not least, a series that I've continued. I thought I was caught up in it, but I'm not. It's only in the continued category, and that would be the Blood and Ash series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So book number 7 came out in September, and I did in fact read it. I was caught up with this series until the author put out a short novella that comes after book 7 with events and scenes that she didn't include in this book and will not be including in book number 7. This is book 6. Did I say 7 earlier? Anyway, this is book 6. So basically, since this book was so long, the Kindle version was over 1,000 pages. This version is 770 pages. So since this book was so long, there were several scenes that she wrote that she did not include in this and will not be including in book number 7. So she put out a rather short novella with those scenes. So I still have to read that novella. It is free, and so I've already downloaded it. So I am just continued in this series. I have not caught up in it because of that novella. That is a total of 7 series that I continued in 2025. Next is the caught up category. That means that I have read all of the books in the series that are currently out and published. So the series is not finished. The author is still writing books in it. There just aren't any available for me to actually read. Now, most of these series that I am caught up in, we've already talked about. The Assistant to the Villain series by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I read book 3 in, I think, September, and I enjoyed it. I like these characters. I especially love Kingsley the Frog. These books are funny and silly goofy, and I really enjoy them. And book 4 is set to come out later this year. So caught up in the Assistant to the Villain series. Then I've also got the Eating Wood series by Carrie Lake. Book number 2, Eldritch, came out in September, and I did in fact read that. And book number 3 is supposed to be coming out in September of this year, so eagerly, impatiently awaiting that book. I hope it doesn't get pushed. I really hope it doesn't get pushed because I can't wait to read that. I need to know what happens. I need to know what happens. Ugh. So that is the Eating Wood series by Carrie Lake. I mean, please read it. Please read it. Then I've got, again, the Dearly Beloved series by Brigitte Knightley. The second book is due to come out this year. I've also got Warrior Princess Assassin by Brigid Kemmerer. The second book is also due to come out later this year. And I've got A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. So, yes, the second book has come out. However, it didn't come out in 2025 and we're only going through December. So as of December, I am caught up in this series. As of right now, 2026, I am not. Then the last on this list is the Ghosted series by B.K. Borison. Again, the second book comes out later this year. I definitely will be continuing the series. So that is a total of 6 series that I am all caught up in. So that's pretty good. Now, the last category, the most important category, are all of the series that I finished in the second half of 2025. Okay, I think I did okay. I didn't do great, simply because I started so many new series at the end of the year. That is partially due to all of my seasonal reading vlogs, because I was not in the middle of any fall, winter, Christmas series at all. So I literally started all of them, which we obviously already talked about, but I just started a lot of series in the last like 3 months of the year. So let's talk about all the series that I did finish. We will start with the Sookie Stackhouse series by Charlaine Harris. Now, I started this series so long ago. I started watching True Blood first and then went back and read the books, which I loved the first like 2 or 3 seasons of True Blood. They were amazing. And then from there, they severely deviated from the books. And that's when I started enjoying the books way more. So I definitely recommend this series, especially if you love vampires. I really love the Sookie Stackhouse series. For some unknown reason, I read the first 12 books of the series and just never read the last one. Literally just never read it. It was sitting on my shelves for years and years and years, and I just never read it. So I finally broke down and read it and finished the series. Like, I think that I would have enjoyed it more if I had read it right after I read all the other ones, because then I would have remembered what was going on. So that's even more of an incentive to finish the series that you've already started so that you can actually enjoy them. Anyway, but I still recommend that series. So that was one of the series that I finished. We've already talked about this. The Flesh and Fire series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. There are 4 books in this series. They are all very big books. They are all amazing and excellent. And Sarah Aniktos, please, if any of you want to get into an amazing world that this author has created, it is complicated. There are a lot of politics. There's a lot of world building, but it's worth it. It is 100% worth it. Please, please. And yes, they're all big books. And yes, there are a lot of books in the series, but they're so good. Please, please read these books. So I did finish that. Then I also finished the Gold Rush Ranch series by Elsie Silver. Cute cowboy romance about some people who have horse farms and horse farms. What's a horse farm? This is about people who live on a couple of different ranches in Canada. Elsie Silver's series are very popular. She has completed 3 series of different cowboy romances based in Canada, and I finally finished the first one, and I really enjoyed this series. I know some people say it wasn't their favorite, but you know what? I enjoyed it and it's worth it. So maybe start off reading it like I did and then go into Chestnut Springs and then, you know, just see the author's writing style and talent just develop and get better. But I definitely would recommend this series. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The last book in the series, which I think was this one, I think If Fall Starts, the last one, was my favorite. So highly recommend. I finished the, why is my brain not working? I finished the How to Date a Douchebag series by Sarah Ney. Now I finished this, or I started this series also a long time ago. And there are 5 books in this series plus a short novella, so 5.5. I enjoyed most of these books. I did. I would say books 3 and 4 were my favorite. And these are sports romances. They are set in college. They're centered around a wrestling team. So Most of the love interests are wrestlers. One of them is actually the wrestling coach's daughter. And I enjoyed all of these books. I like the author's writing. I think the banter is funny. I like the storylines, so I really enjoyed all of these books. They're short, fast reads, so I was finally able to finish up that series this year. I also finished up The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. Now, I was too lazy to get one of the books because they're buried up here, but I have read this series multiple times, and I love it every time I read it. Now, the 5th book, Murtagh, did come out, oh, it was probably 2 years ago at this point. I knew that I wanted to do a reread of all of the previous books before I read Murtagh. I went ahead and did that and finished up all 5 books this year, or last year in 2025. Now, I will say, how Murtagh ended off, I would assume there's going to be another book. However, the author hasn't announced it. At least what I've seen, it's not official yet. It's not on Goodreads. I haven't really seen, I've just heard like maybe rumors that a second book is coming out, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. So as of right now, I finished this series, but I bet you it will be moved to a different category because I know that there's going to be another Murtagh book that comes out because there's no way that that series ended that way. There's just no way. There's more. There's more. But as of right now, end of 2025, it's in the finished category. Talk about this very briefly. The Fixer series by Lucy Score. I DNF'd both books in this duology. I did not enjoy the characters. I've got a reading vlog on this, then the Christmas reading vlog. I just didn't enjoy the characters. So started and finished this series in the second half of this year, and we'll see how much more Lucy Score books I pick up. I don't know. Maybe her writing gets better. Then I've also got the Bride series by Ali Hazelwood. The second book in this series, Mate, came out in 2025. I loved it. I loved it so much. This is a paranormal romance between werewolves and vampires. And the first book is Bride. I thoroughly enjoyed that, but I loved Mate so much. I loved Mate so much. It was so good. 100% worth it. I think I gave it 4.5 or 4.75 stars, so such a good rating. Definitely highly recommend. I do not know if there is going to be another book in this series. I didn't even know there was going to be a second book in this series, so when Mate was announced, I was also surprised. So we'll see if this series gets moved into a different category this year or next year, but as of right now, it's finished. Then I finished the Fall of the Dragon series by Amber Chen. The second book in this duology is The Blood Phoenix. The first is Of Jade and Dragons, and I thoroughly enjoyed the first book. I absolutely loved it. This second book, didn't love it so much. I did not like the ending. I thought the story was kind of meandering, and it did not go in the direction that I thought it would based off of the first book. So take that for what you will. More of my thoughts on this book are in my December wrap-up, which was posted, I believe, last week. So check that out if you want to see more thoughts on this book, but I did finish this duology this year. Last year. Geez, last year. Only 2 more, and we're going to go through them rapid fire. Another series that I finished, DNF'd, was Beartown by Frederick Bachman. Again, I read the first book, liked it, didn't love it, decided that I did not need to continue on with that trilogy, so started and finished. Another series that I decided to DNF was the Winter series by Ellen Hildebrand. Again, I read this first book. It was fine. I didn't love it. I honestly don't really care what happens to these characters in the next 3 books in the series because this is a 4-book series, so decided to DNF this one. So it is on the finished list. So that is a total of 10 series that I finished in the second half of the year. 10 series. Between finished and caught up, that is 16 series. And I started 16 new series and continued 7. Please stay tuned for another video of all of my reading stats for the year of 2025. And that will also include the total series that I started, continued, and finished in the whole year 2025. So not just for the second half, but for the whole year combined. That'll get a little bit better idea of how many series I started versus how many I finished. I hope you enjoyed this video today about all of the series that I'm reading. Please check out the reading vlogs where I talk about a bunch of these books because I have reading vlogs on most of these books, the series that I talked about today. Give this video a like, Subscribe to my channel to see more fun reading content, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.